Aloha. I want to talk about leadership, and this is kind of in the same vein as the the previous rant video that I did about Christian atheism, and it kind of introduced this idea of that I've been on for a bit now of words that don't work well when used liberally. They don't work well in this society because we have a tendency to use words very the same word for a lot of different things. Instead of using all these different types of words, or all these different words, we pick one that we think is a good one, and then we use it for all this different stuff, or to represent all this different stuff. That and sometimes that works. Probably a lot of times that works, but there's certain words that it does not work with, and Christian in the last video is what I would say is one of those words. Christianity. For something to be Christian, it has to actually be Christian. It can't just be a societal geist of what Christianity is, or whatever the word is. It has to actually be Christianity, and so there's been a bit of a disconnect in that way. So for this, and another one is love, which I'll get into at some point, but that's a huge subject. So with leadership, there's constantly, I constantly hear talk of leaders. That's it as well. It's not just leadership, it's leaders. Like, what is a leader? What is leadership? And we'll talk about bad leadership or selfish leadership, or that kind of thing, that it's not leadership if they're not leading. If they're not being a leader, they are not leading. They are not enacting leadership. It's kind of semantics because of, it's easy to just say, like, oh, it's bad leadership, which there is bad leadership. I would say there is. This one's a little tricky compared to, like, love. And I might be wrong in this. I need to think this through a little more. But, and this is kind of, this whole video is for me to flesh this out. With leadership, there can be some bad leadership that it is rooted in service, and it is rooted in, like, bottom of the hierarchy, serving all kind of thing, but it's still just wrong. It's mistaken. You as a leader, even if you're embodying the true fullness of leadership, of what a leader is, you still will make mistakes. You still, like, that's a part of leadership that's really shitty, is you're gonna blow it, and you're gonna make the wrong moves, and you're not perfect. So there is this bad leadership idea out there, or reality out there, but it's mostly used with, like they're not leaders. It's not an actual leader making a mistake. It is a tyrant, or an oppressor, or a ruler, or a boss, or a it's those things. It's not a leader. A leader is a servant. Servant leadership is leadership. Leading the glorified and nice, clean, like, it's a very prestigious and honored, but it's like a vain honor And it's what everyone wants, because it's like, yeah, I'd like to run everything and just not have to do much and just sit back, and that's not leadership. Uh, leadership, being a leader is like the should be not something that you want to do, because leadership sucks ass. It's not. It's not a fun thing. It's not a. And there's times when it's a fun thing, and it's, you derive value and uh, pleasure out of fulfilling your intended role in a society, or in the body, or in whatever. Um, but it's not something you should want. Honestly, like if you look at it unromantically, it's not a fun job. It's not an easy job. It's not a job that people are gonna like you. You're gonna piss someone off no matter which decision you make. It's grueling. You're at the bottom, washing feet, making the self-sacrifice so that everyone else can live better and get by. You are laying your life down. Yeah, it's not what we've made it up to be. Um, and it's really unfortunate, because when you are being uh, for lack of a better term, led by an oppressor, or a tyrant. It's the word I'll use, is a tyrant. Uh, it's it's easy to see these tyrants and um, the fruits of their leadership, um, for for the selfish side of us. It sees that, and it's like, yeah, I want that too, because, like, yeah, like everyone, deep down, like, are dark. Like, we want to be whatever. Like, we want to not have to do shit, and to run stuff, and to tell people what to do, and have people listen to us, to be right. A lot of the stuff that it seems like a nice thing, or it seems like something that we would want to pursue. But when you look at actual leadership, when you look at what an actual leader is, it's a vocation, or a vocation. It's something you're called to. It's not. There's sacrifice in it. Just in entering that world, you are signing yourself up to be at the bottom, to be the last one to eat, to be the last one to get taken care of, to be the one that doesn't get taken care of, so that everyone else can. Like, leadership is a radical thing, and it's been dumbed down to not that, and I think you can see the detriment of that, the fruit of what happens when that's your model of leadership, for decades or centuries. This is what happens. Eventually, it crumbles, because you don't actually have people leading, and so everyone's leading themselves, and again, all, lack of a better term, leading. Guiding themselves, or something like that. I'm not quite sure what the term would be. Yeah, you end up in this place that a big side of it is no one can trust leaders. These alleged leaders, these supposed leaders, because in whether they're consciously knowing it or not, they see a tyrant. And no one wants a tyrant. No one, that's not desirable. It's not. And so that has been somewhat tarnished the idea in a lot of people, the idea of hierarchy, because of the way that we've looked at leadership being this basically tyrannical system, and we've championed it as such for whatever reason, because we were deceived. It's led to people saying, no, this whole hierarchy thing has to go, which is not a feasible thing even to begin with. But it's also not true. We do need hierarchy. It just works differently than we've been led to believe, in my opinion. I'm going to, this is just mostly an introduction to this. I finally got my book back from my brother. There's a chapter in this book that I have wanted to talk about since I read it, and it's in this topic of leadership. And so I'll be rereading that here soon, and then adding to this video.